Bauer's Nexus sticks have been among some of the most popular hockey sticks ever released. In fact, the Nexus Sync and the Nexus Geo have been some of the best sellers in our store. Fast forward to 2024, and we now have the all-new Nexus Tracer. Let's take a look. In this video, I'm gonna unbox the Nexus Tracer. I'm gonna give you my first impressions. We're gonna go over the specs, and we even have a special top secret test, so stay tuned for that. We're gonna get in the shooting room, test these things out. It's gonna be fun. Let's go. All right, the moment's here. It's time to unbox the Nexus Tracer. I'm super excited. Been anticipating this one for a while. Let's see what we got here. This looks pretty sick. Oh man. Check that out, guys. The all-new Nexus Tracer. This thing's flashy, wow. Looks super sick. Got that classic ER spine. Nice and light. I like it. Let's dive into the review. Honestly, I think Bauer killed it. We're gonna start at the top here. They've got this crazy, flashy, like white chrome. I think it looks really cool. You could definitely blind some goalies with this thing. It's actually reflecting in my eyes right now. I think that's really cool. And the best part is it's up at the top. So if you didn't like it, just throw some tape on there. You're covered. Moving down the stick, it's pretty much black out on the backhand from here down, which I think is nice. And then on the forehand, we've got that chrome Bauer logo with those blue hits. And then up top, we've got the Bauer logo and the Tracer logo. Again, on the backhand, big Tracer logo. I think this stick looks really sharp. I love that black and blue color combo. The only one complaint I'm gonna have is when I'm looking at the top of the stick, as I'm stick handling, I kinda want my stick to look blacked out from the top. It's cool to have logos on the side, but I kinda wish they didn't stick those two right there and left them on the front and the backhand, just so it looks nice and sleek when you're stick handling. But minor complaint, still think this stick looks really sharp. Let's compare it to the Nexus Sync. Old familiar favorite, the Nexus Sync compared to the Tracer. In my opinion, I think the Tracer is the better looking stick. This stick had a really clean graphic, but I wasn't a huge fan of the orange. Orange is kind of a wild color. It doesn't match with a lot of jerseys. This stick will, since it's just blue and black. I think this stick looks a little bit sharper. I'm gonna go with this one, but let us know, what's the cooler looking stick, the Nexus Sync or the Nexus Tracer? We're also noticing the Nexus Tracer kind of has a similar look to the FT6 Pro in that they're both white and chrome on the very top of the sticks. And then as you get down the shaft, it turns into kind of a blackout look. Pretty interesting. Again, I think that's smart because if you don't like the flash, you can just throw some tape over this thing and then you're almost gonna have an all black stick. Let's dive into the specs. Bauer didn't reinvent the wheel when it came to updating this stick, but they made a couple key updates that I think will make this thing a really good shooting hockey stick. First of all, it's the lightest Nexus stick ever made, which is pretty sick. They've also updated the mid kick point so you can really load this thing up. We're gonna test that in the shooting room. We'll see if we can feel the difference. A couple good carryovers. It's obviously got that ER spine for that great hand feel. I'm sure a lot of you guys love the ER spine. It's also got the Techstream carbon fiber wrap for added durability. And then another carryover from the Sync, it's got the Connect Tech to help you with puck feel. Should be a great stick handling and shooting stick. Okay, let's throw the Tracer on the scale and see if it's really the lightest Nexus stick ever made. What do we got? 360 grams. That's pretty light. 360 grams, not bad. 5 grams lighter than the Nexus Sync. And on top of all that, they've optimized the balance point. One of the biggest thing I noticed when picking up this stick versus the Sync. But let's get this thing in the shooting room. We'll see how it goes. Ty's got a special test set up for me. Let's go. We're in the shooting room. This is my first shooting impressions of the Nexus Tracer before we do Ty's secret test. Let's do it. Off the bat, the stick handling feels really good. That ER spine has a really nice hand feel. Let's take some shots. thing feels good. All right, first impressions of the Nexus Tracer. This stick feels really good. Obviously, it's got that mid kick, so it's not a super quick release compared to some of the other sticks, but what I feel with this thing is a lot of power. I felt like my shots were shooting really hard. Honestly, I love it. Out of all the sticks I've tried recently, I feel like my shot is the hardest with this new Nexus Tracer. This thing feels awesome. Before this, I actually wasn't a big fan of the ER spine, but after shooting and stick handling with this thing a little bit, it could definitely grow on me. I felt good puck control, and while I was shooting, again, felt like there was a lot of power in this thing. And whatever they've done by updating that new mid kick feels great. You guys gotta try this thing out. Okay, it's time for Ty's secret test. I know he's been cooking something up. Let's see what he's got for me. Oh man. All right, it looks like we're going hockey tutorial style with these blacked out sticks. Ty, what am I doing here? Figuring out which one I like the best? Okay, fully blind test here. I don't know what these sticks are. They're all Nexus sticks because I can feel they have a spine, but I don't know what model they are. I'll shoot these things, I'll rank them, and then we'll unwrap them and see what happens. Let's go. Okay, all the sticks are numbered, 1, 2, and 3. I'm gonna start with stick number 1. I'm gonna take 10 pucks each, and then after that, I'll figure out which one I like the best and we'll unwrap it. Holy. Okay, off the bat, this one feels pretty good. It doesn't feel too heavy even though it's covered in tape. Let's shoot it and see how it feels. Okay, initial impressions, it doesn't feel like it has the same pop and power that the Tracer did, but it doesn't feel super heavy. I don't know what this is. For now, I'll put it over here. We have to shoot the other ones in order to rank them. Now I'm on stick number 2. This one feels pretty light. I kind of have high hopes for this one. Initial stick handling feels pretty good. Let's shoot it. Okay, this stick felt pretty good while I was shooting it. In terms of ranking so far, the number 2 stick is going in my number 1 spot as best feeling so far. And then the number 1 stick is second place right now. Let's try the third one. All right, stick number 3. It's hard to tell because it's covered in tape, but I think this one's the heaviest. Let's stick handle, shoot, we'll see what I think. Stick handling's not too bad. Let's take a couple shots here. Man, now I'm confused because this stick felt heavier, but I felt like I shot pretty good with this one. Let's rank these things. Okay, in my first place spot, stick number 2. I don't know what this is, but this felt pretty good. Second place spot, I'm still gonna go with stick number 1. It felt pretty light, almost as light as stick number 2. And then in my third place spot is stick number 3. This one shot really well, but it kind of feels heavy still, so that's ranked 3rd. The funny thing is, I don't know what these sticks are, but they all shot really well. So obviously the Nexus family is killing it. Let's unwrap these things and figure out what they were. Okay, we're going worst to best. I'm unwrapping stick number 3 first. This is the one I ranked last place. Let's see what we got here. I'm kind of nervous. We've got, what is this? In 3rd place, we've got the Nexus Havoc. I can see the lettering right here. I'll show you guys. The all new Nexus Havoc in 3rd place. There it is, Havoc right there. Honestly, this is a source exclusive stick, so you can only get it at our stores. This thing shot really well. If you check the tape, I felt like I was shooting pretty good with this thing. A little bit heavier than the other ones maybe, but the shot was still there, so check this thing out. All right, 2nd place stick was stick number 1. Let's unwrap this thing. What do we got here? Ooh, in 2nd place, did I put the Tracer? I think I did. Let's see. Okay, in 2nd place, the Tracer. That's a surprise, but not too crazy considering this thing was covered in tape. It was really hard to unwrap, and it felt very similar to my 1st place rankings. Nexus Tracer still shot really good covered in tape. That leaves me questioning, what is stick number 2 here? AKA my number 1 ranked stick. Let's check it out. This stick is the Nexus Sync. I ranked number 1 in my blind test. So that's pretty interesting. The Sync ranked higher in my blind test, but untaped, just regular stick to regular stick, this one's lighter in real life. So you guys are gonna have to come in and test these things and figure out which one you like better for yourselves. We tested this stick, now it's time to rate it with our new rating system. We're gonna start with looks. I think this thing looks sick. I'm gonna give it a 9.8 on looks. Almost perfect to me, looks really sharp. Stick handling, it actually felt really good with the ER spine, so I'm gonna give it another high rating. We'll go 9.6 on stick handling. And then shooting, this thing honestly felt awesome. One of the best shooting sticks I've shot in a long time, so another good score, 9.7. Let's do the math on that one. 9.7, our new highest ranked stick. That slots the Nexus Tracer above the Warrior QR6, so you guys definitely have to check this thing out. Now, the big question, should you upgrade to the Nexus Tracer? I'm gonna say yes. This stick is awesome, it shot great, looks cool, but I will say one other thing. In our blind test, the Sync actually shot harder, at least it felt like it did, so if you're a shooter, maybe check out the Sync. And then the Tracer had great puck feel, and it also still shot hard, so it's gonna be a toss-up. You're gonna have to try these out, see what you think. If you guys like this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And if you wanna get a Tracer, or a Sync, or a Havoc, stop by the Hockey Shop or go to thehockeyshop.com.